new update has come out for the complexity roster from Shift. Shout out Shift, goats. Like, can't say it enough. Make the offseason all the more better. CRR is connected to complexity to fill out the roster with Razebull and AJG. So right now it seems like a two-horse race between SAD and CRR. I'm not sure how this is going to develop. Complexity hasn't really commented on anything. One thing, Razebull was playing with CRR on stream right before this, report came out. So CRR and SAD seem like the front runners to fill out this roster, and I think both would be upgrades from Shad. And I think at the end of the day, I would actually probably prefer CRR over SAD. One reason, last time we saw an EU player transfer to an NA team technically was Turbo Pulsa. What'd they do? Win the World Championship. I'm not saying CRR is guaranteeing complexity World Championship spot here, but the trend speaks for itself. And with the main Spanish roster of Mark by 8, Dorito, and Atomic, I don't want to say confirmed, but ARG, them boys likely teaming together, full Spanish roster, kind of leaves CRR on the outside looking in, which means he might be open to coming to the States. Let's take a look at some stats before I get ahead of myself. Now, in terms of European RLCS, I had to include qualifiers because I wanted to make sure there was enough game data to provide valuable stats for CRR. Even though he averaged a 1.055 rating across 180 games without the qualifiers, including the qualifiers meant he played the 5th most games in all of Europe at 292. Average 0.76 goals, 0.56 assists, 1.67 saves, 3.28 shots, 23.17 shooting percentage, and a goal participation of 65.14 for a 1.065 rating. Overall, we know what CR is capable of. He popped off at Gamers 8, very mechanical, very skilled offensively, can play the backline if he needs to, but would likely be an offensive threat as a part of complexity. Now we take a look at Sam's stats, because we got to bring in SAD into this conversation. Albeit, it's Sam, it's a little bit different of a playing field here. CRR never really found stable footing on teams that he was on. SAD has been on a top 3 team in South America for quite some time. He was on Noble in fall, the Major in winter and spring, and obviously the World Championship. Across 277 games, SAD averaged 0.7 goals, 0.72 assists, 1.65 saves, 2.68 shots on 26.11 shooting percentage, and a 62.74 goal participation for a 1.062 rating. Very similar in terms of rating, a little bit more passive, a little bit more patient, it seems like, with the less shots, higher shooting percentage, and a lesser goal participation. Similar rating, so similar players in my head. Obviously SAD and CRR, both very talented individuals, would both be great to filling out the complexity roster. In my head, I'm thinking more so along the lines of CRR because of his offensive capabilities, but if you wanted to slide SAD into that middleman role where Razebull's up front being the attacker because he is the ones guy, he's the mechanical dude, and AJG could play the third man a little bit further back, SAD filling out that middle part where he's passing the ball, dishing it out, getting clears upfield, I think that would work really well for complexity as a roster. Now, I took the top 3 performances from SAD and CRR in all of 2021-2022, and I showed some differentials here, and they're very negligible. Obviously, CRR has a higher goals per game, but SAD has a higher assists per game. Very similar in saves. CRR is going to average a little bit more shots, have a less shooting percentage. So things that I was talking about already show true by taking the top 3 peak performances from these players across the 2021-2022 season. Comparing each of these 3 performances for each player to Shad's top performance and the Octane rating here, 1.097 is Shad's peak. Not to say Shad is a bad player, but on paper, from a statistical standpoint, Sadness and CRR would both be upgrades for Shad. Now, obviously, there's some things going on here that we might not know about behind the scenes, and this is all very speculative rumors at this point, but at the end of the day, CRR and SAD are vying for a spot in a North American Rocket League roster spot, and this could shake up the fabric of the top 5 in NA very quickly, depending on how this roster move turns out. Let me know if you guys are excited to see what Complexity has planned going forward. I'm very excited to see what's going on. It's a very interesting report here from Shift. Thank you again to them for reporting it. But with that being said, this is RLCS Spotlight, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.